In the event you're brand new to this, in the event you've never done this before in your life, you have no idea what this is, but you've either joined me or joined the fray regarding Candace Owens or TPUSA or Charlie Cook or Mitch Snow, for some reason, is so critical to so many people. So critical, the linchpin, I submit, to the severability doctrine, which I think I've explained, he's irrelevant. But if you're a brand new member to the conspiratorium, and if you've never been involved in this, and if you've said, I'm going to kind of get in, this is interesting, but they're using a lot of phrases I don't understand, and I don't understand precisely where they're going with this and what's the point. Let me give you an update. First, there is a conspiracy theory group, so to speak, and that group believes in, they're not crazy. They're not crazy. I understand it. I am conversant in it. I'm fluent in the language. Fluent. Because sometimes there are things where the government and people are actually involved in conspiracies, which are actual illegal confederations and agreements between people to bring about some nefarious end or what have you. Okay, you got that? Okay, good. Now, what's interesting to note also, which is even more fascinating, is that sometimes people who get involved in it kind of get involved in it and become a fanatic. They like it. They like the people they meet. They like the legerdemain and the skullduggery and this, talk about spooks and spies and government cover-ups and assassins and, you know what I mean? And they love the jargon, the argot, the lexicon, the phrases. So if you're new, I hear somebody who was he was a tyro, a newbie to this, who came into the discussion and said, Trantifa or Transtifa, what the hell is that? Okay, so I could say we need to discuss this. Let me see if I can explain this. First and foremost, the number one focus on everything that you're watching right now is numbers. Numbers, metric, likes, dislikes, getting into the HOV lane. If you think that anybody wants to be on social media, whether it's YouTube or whatever else there is, Instagram, I don't know. If you think, or X, if you think anybody wants to do this just to be this, the tree falling in the woods where nobody's there to hear it, you're out of your mind. It's about metrics. It's about likes. It's about ad revenue, ad rev, ad share. This, I mean, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. People go into music for record sales. People go into TV to get Nielsen's. If you're in radio, if you're in anything, there is a metric. There is some kind of a device, some form of device that is meant to determine specifically how good you are and how important you are by virtue of your numbers. And there's nothing wrong with that. Have I made that clear? Okay, good. So what happens is, when people are done with their particular piece, they will get done, they will look at their numbers. And if the numbers work, if all of a sudden there's a spike, if you get new followers, new subs, you'll say, you know what, I'm going to do that again. And you also want to carve a niche, so to speak. You want to carve out a niche. You want to find a way for you to create a kind of how do I say this? A new approach that maybe nobody else has done. Kind of a new take. So, in the Candace case, people said all of a sudden, this is hot. This is hot. Let me jump on. Now, where do I go? And it works like this. Pro-Candace, anti-Candace. Okay, not issue. Not issue about nothing to do with Charlie or who's right or wrong. Pro-Candace, anti-Candace. That's it. Okay? Believe me when I tell you this. Pro-Candace, anti-Candace. That's it. That's it. Number one. What's the angle going to be? Well, why are you, let's say, pro Candace, whatever that means? You could argue that, well, she's right regarding Charlie, TPUSA. She's right about suspicion. She's right about Erica, because with Candace, you, in essence, and I know that this is very unfair, but you have to be anti-TPUSA, anti-Erica, anti-Griselda. No, it's Tyler Robinson, anti the official story, anti any of the names from security, whatever, in TPUSA. It's all, and when I say anti, I know this is extremely, this is far too easy. But in any event, so if you're anti-Candace, well, that's easy. Oh, now that's the good one. That's the good one. If you're anti-Candace, you can go nuts. And here's what you do. You have a bag, and you reach into your bag. Remember those Crown Royal bags, or the Bolita bags, for those of you from West Tampa. You pull out a phrase, and you pull out MK Ultra. Work that into a sentence. Because in conspiracy-ese, these are words that mean something. MK Ultra, and please just investigate this on your own. MK Ultra, Mockingbird Media, and the like. PSYOP, psychological operation. Distraction. Intel, I think I said PSYOP. Mossad. Work Mossad into anything. Like 5 points. 5 points. It's like each of these words has a favorability rating. People love this because they love Trans-Tifa or Trantifa. This is a version of Antifa based upon gendered people. Lance Twiggs, or whatever the hell his name is, Tyler's fuzzy-headed, gay boyfriend who wore the hat, transitioning. It's this radicalized transgender group. Then you work into throw in deep state. I prefer shadow government because deep state's the wrong word. Deep state is kind of a stay behind government group. I prefer shadow government. Throw that in. You can throw into let me see, all the usual suspects. As many of these words, I know I'm leaving a few out, but anytime you can work PSYOP, beta test is another good one. Mockingbird. If you can work in paperclip, military-industrial complex, Zionist, that works depending upon where you are. If you're anti Candace, you wouldn't be using Zionist. You would use it if you were pro Candace, because you want to imply some type of a theory or some kind of cabal involving Israel. Trump, MAGA, if you can throw this in. And what you can do is you can say, I'm against Candace because Candace is nothing but a PSYOP. She's a PSYOP. She's actually negating the notion of Transtifa. She basically is she's a mole. She is a patsy. She's there as a part of a new form of Mockingbird Media to destroy the notion of MAGA continuity. And she's pushing out these idiots like Mitch Snow. And by the way, you jump on somebody. If you read what everybody says, if Mitch Snow is the guy, that's the one you talk about. If you ask, why is Mitch Snow even critical to this? If you pulled him out of the equation, is there still a story? Yes. He's the latest iteration of this. So you're going to be having a lot of names involved in this, but they're jumping on this. Oh, and here's the best part, and this is the most important. I told you, big fan of Candace, big fan of Alex, big fan of, in many respects, people who don't even agree with each other, Laura Loomer, Nick Fuentes, but there's a lot of what they say that either I disagree with or I don't share. But they have said some very good things, or they're very good broadcasters, and that's the sort of thing. But here's the best thing. Alex Jones, who turned, and I'm using these terms, he didn't really turn, but who follow this, and by the way, I love Alex, who turned on Alex, or put on Candace, proposed some negative Candace ideology and theory, now, interestingly enough, now finds himself, believe it or not, in something different. He is now being attacked by other people because he's pro or positive towards President Trump in this Venezuela invasion or whatever it was. So consequently, now he's a shill. A couple of days ago, he was everybody's favorite, but he is a deep state, or he's shilling for. Throw in Rothschild anytime you can do that. So now he's a shill for BlackRock and everybody else. But the other day he was great, but not anymore. So whatever they said, were they like, because he was against, again, I'm saying, not in favor of what Candace was saying, and people said, hey, I like Alex, that's great. But now that Alex is pro-Venezuela, or pro the military intervention, or whatever the hell this thing was, now he's a shill. So not only are these people rats and spineless and impuissant and feckless, and they have no idea what they're talking about, and their ideas change like that, they can't be trusted. They'll do anything and everything to always keep you guessing, to pull in as many new listeners. Let me throw in the anti-Venezuela, anti-invasion crowd. Let me claim that Alex Jones is a shill for some kind of a weird Institute for the Study of War, pro-NATO, whatever, neocon. Neocon. Oh, please, throw that one in there. You got that one? Remember, yesterday he was great, or the day before he was terrific. Not anymore. So what do? Well, now people are anti-Candace, anti-Alex. What do we do? I don't know. They're watching the numbers. If the numbers go up, that's where they're going to go. If the numbers go down, they'll change it. They'll find something else. They'll come up with new terms. They'll go around. They'll scour YouTube and say, ooh, this is a good one. Let me follow this one. Hey, that Jimmy Dore is good. Or, hey, that Tucker, let me go his way. Oh, throw in Tucker, too, because Tucker also is a shill. Because you always want to. See, in professional wrestling, you had babyface and heel, the good guy and the bad guy. But you didn't go babyface to heel or flip them in a match. It would be confusing. The good guy is now the bad guy. Now he's a good guy. Now he's a bad guy. You can switch, but after the storyline and the angle and the work has been presented. So don't feel if you're new to this, don't feel like you're confused. Many people are confused. But what we're seeing right now is this convocation of rats, people who are nothing but absolute rats, who have no affinity for anything even remotely consisting of consistency. Let me tell you where I am specifically. Number one, I support Candace Owens and her ability to proceed with questioning the official narrative, which I think has a lot of holes in it. That's number one. Number two, I don't sign off on everything she's ever said about everything. I'm not suggesting that for a moment. What I'm suggesting is something a little bit different. And more importantly, what I'm trying to explain to people is very, very simply this. Listen to what people are saying, but do not necessarily remove it, dismiss it, trash it, just because they said one thing wrong here, and if the numbers seem to follow up. Because let me tell you something. Bottom line, I'll leave you with this. When you are involved in a particular issue and you have an audience, make sure they believe you. Make sure they know you're authentic. Make sure that whatever it is that you say, you're consistent. And if you change your mind, you're entitled to. But make sure you change your mind because the facts have changed. All right, dear friends? Great. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your kind comments. I've got some good stuff, some good questions for you. Some great ones. So please, after we're done with this, which we'll be, go in the comment section and weigh in. And whatever you do, my friends, I always ask you, oh, please, 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 please like this video. You have to do that. You know how that is. I'm sorry, I got to tell you this. Like this video. Subscribe to our noble venture. And whatever you do, comment as you see fit.